Everyone. My name is Fatima Vargas, and today I'll be speaking about promoting children well-being through health and safety practices in early childhood. So the presentation focus is how educators support children's health, safety, and well-being through everyday practices, such as supervision, hygiene, safe environment, illness management, nutrition, rest, emotional support, and risk assessments. I will also connect all these practices with professional standards, theory, family partnership, in my placement experience. So the purpose of this presentation is to explain health and safety practices in a clear and reassuming way for family. In early childhood education and care, health and safety are not only about rules or policies, they are part of the everyday routine. We can see them when educators supervise children, support hand washing, check the environment, respond to illness, manage incidents, and communicate with family. For this presentation, I will explore some examples inspiring my placement experience at BB Early Learning Center. This example helped to show how health and safety standards are applied in real practices. So why health and safety matter? In Australia, for example, in early childhood and education care services are guided by National Quality Framework, National Quality Standard, the National Law and Regulation, and of course, Early Year Learning Framework. But one of the very important area is quality area number 2. Why? Because children's health and safety. This is the area where it's focused on children's health and safety and well-being, thus including supervision, hygiene, illness and injury management, safe environment, healthy eating, physical activity, rest, and protecting from harm. These standards are guiding and the educator's professional responsibility. So, and also helping families feeling confident that children are cared for in safe and supporting environments. So, foundation and are actually for well-being, learning, and development. So the health and safety are foundational because children learn best when they feel safe, secure, and supported. If a child feels unsafe, unwell, hungry, tired, or emotional distress, it becomes harder for them to participate in play, learning, and relationships. So young children are still developing this kind of independence, self-regulation, and awareness of danger. Because of this, educators need to create environments when children can explore and learning while the risks are carefully managed. So when health and safety practices are strong, children are more confident, more engaged, and more ready to learn. So the other part is the family-friendly language. Why? Because health and safety should not feel too technical. So in simple words, health and safety are about creating this kind of caring environment where children are protected, listening to, and supervised. Also, in BB, Early Learning Center, this can be seen in daily routines such as washing hands, checking the playground, supervising meals, supporting resting time, also responding to illness and communicating with family. The goal is not to stop children from exploring. Actually, the goal is to helping them to feel safe enough to explore, play, learn, and building confidence. Another aspect is the key health and safety practice. At the first is the active supervision. So this means the educators observe, listen, positioning themselves carefully and respond quickly to children's needs. The second practice is hygiene and infection control, which include hand washings, cleaning surfaces, sanitizing toys, and teaching children healthy habits, like, for example, when they coughing or sneezing to cover themselves. Another important practice is illness, injury, and incident management. Educators observe children's health, respond to injuries, apply first aid when it's needed, of course, and documenting all these kind of incidents and communicating them with family. Safe environments are also essential. So educators check indoor or outdoor spaces to identify hazards such as broken equipment, wet surfaces, unsafe odor, or open gates. So nutrition, allergies, and healthy lifestyle are also part of the safety, especially during mealtime. Finally, sleeping, resting time, and emotional well-being are supporting for children's comfort, regulation, and readiness to learn. So, why all these practices were selected? Because they are directly connected to children's health, well-being, and safety. Active supervision helps prevent accidents, hygiene reduce the spread of illness and injury management ensure that children receive care when there's actually something happen, and safe environment reduce hazards while still allowing children to take appropriate risks. Nutrition and allergies management protects children from physical health, while resting and emotional well-being support children's regulation and learning. Together, all these practices show that health and safety are not just separated from education. They are actually creating the foundation for children to feel secure, participating, and learning. So the family engagement are essential partnerships in children's health and safety. Families are informed through dialogue conversation during drop-off or pick-up communication, for example, newsletter, policies, medical management plans, and incident report. Families are also support safety by sharing important information such as allergies, illness, sleeping routine, eating habits, culture, and emotional needs. At BB Early Learning Center, family partnership is important because educators rely on families' knowledge. All these kind of things when families and education communicate openly. So children receive more consistent and responsive care. So the risk assessment contest is process when educators use all these kind of possible hazard when actually are identified and decide to how all these are reducing and managed. So at BB Early Learning Center, risk assessment is part of the everyday practice. So it can happen during outdoor, indoor meals, times, transitions, so resting time and learning experiences. So children engage so during the age that they are between 3 to 5 are really active, curious, and developing in this kind of independence. So this means educators need to support explorations while also managing all these kind of risks carefully. So the risk assessment process is actually can be explained in 5 steps. The first one, identify the hazard, such as wet floor, broken toy, open gate, or unsafe food. The second, assess the risk by thinking about how likely harm is actually, how serious it could be. The third, control or reduce the risk. This means cleaning the area, removing the hazard, blocking access, increasing supervision, or changing activity. The fourth one is educators communicate and documenting by informing staff, the supervisors, and also with families when this actually needed. Finally, the educators reviews the actions taken to see if it's worked or is needed actually this kind of improvement. The risk assessment scenario in this case is a realistic sample in outdoor play after raining. So before children go outside, educators check the playground. They notice that part of the climbing equipment is wet and the ground actually is nearby may be slippery. So the hazard is the wet surface. The risk is that child may slip or fall. So to reduce all these kind of risks, educators block the unsafe area, explain to children that is closed for safety, and maybe we can redirecting them to another play space. They also informed by actually informed to the nominated supervisor and check the area later before reopening it. So this shows that risk assessment is not only paperwork, it is daily professional judgment based on observation, prevention, communication, and care. So the linking policy and theory and practices are connected to policy, so the theory and professional practice through the perspective of the national quality standard required services to protect children's health, safety, and well-being. From the theory, I took the Bronfenbrenner's ecologic system. Why? Because this explains that children are influenced by the system around them, including family, educators, the early childhood center, community, health services, and policies. The early year learning framework also connects well-being with learning. When children feel safe, rested, healthy, and emotionally supported, they actually are more able to participate in playing, relationships, and also learning. So the playing experience during my experience in BB Early Learning Center, I observed that health and safety are part of the everyday routines. Educators check the environment, support hand washing, supervise meals, observe children's well-being, documenting any incidents, and communicate them with family. This observation helped me understand that health and safety are not only about writing policies. They require professional judgment, teamwork, attention to details, and respected communication. For example, when educators just adjust all them to their position during outdoor play, they are applying active supervision. When they clean tables before meals, they are supporting hygiene. And when they communicate with family, they are building trust. Family partnership and communication and health. So children health and safety are shared this kind of responsibility between educators, family, and wider community. So family know that the children deeply. That's why they can share important information about allergy, medical needs, sleep routine, eating habits, emotional well-being, culture, and change at home. So educators use all this kind of information to provide more responsive and individualized care. So this connects with children, family, and community, because children's well-being does not happen in isolation. It's supported through a strong relationship between child, family, the center, and the community. So in conclusion, health, wellness, and safety are an essential part of quality in early childhood education and care. In this presentation, I discussed active supervision, hygiene, illness and injury management, safe environment, nutrition, allergies, rest, well-being, and risk assessment. The key message for families is that these practices helping children feel safe, respected, and ready to learn. Educators have a professional responsibility to provide safe, healthy environments. However, family also play an important role by sharing information, maintaining open communication. When education and family work together, children feel protected, confident, supported in their learning and development. Thank you for listening to me in this presentation. This is my reference.